Hey everyone, Forrest here with Rocky Mountain School of Photography, and today is finally the day where we're going to talk about our new building, show this place off to you, talk about why we moved, talk about all the new spaces, and really show you what it's like to be a part of Rocky Mountain School of Photography. So the first thing I want to talk about is why did we move our school? For those of you who don't know, we used to be in downtown Missoula, and while downtown Missoula was awesome, it was very limiting in the shoots and the images that our students were able to create. We were trapped in an old building, it didn't have a great vibe, it didn't have great light. Really cool being downtown, but the space itself was limiting in a lot of ways. Now we have over double the square footage, most of which is warehouse space that we can drive cars into if we want to photograph cars. We've got a gear cage. We just have so much more room to produce and help the students produce the level of work that they're looking to. And that's really the goal of our school, is to help our students. So it was really no big question on why we were going to move or if we were going to move. We kind of had to take the opportunity. Now what I want to do in this video is show you all of the major spaces in this building. The classroom spaces, the office spaces, the lobby space, all the different areas that we have here, and just talk a little bit about what's done in each space and give you a little bit more of an insight of what we do here. If you're just experienced us on YouTube, you've just watched our YouTube presence, YouTube is a very small section of what the school does. Very, very small. Most of what we do is teach students how to become professional or hobbyist photographers. We love helping students reach their dreams of becoming a photographer, and that's what our school is all about. YouTube is more of like a way to create free content, a way to get our name out there. This is really what makes our business work, and that's really what our passion is helping students. So what I want to do first, let's take a look at this lobby space and what makes it unique to RMSP. So without even moving the camera, the first thing I want to talk about is this wall of catalogs back here. These are actually our catalogs all the way from 1989 up until current. Our school actually started 30 years ago. My parents started it, and we wanted to present that in some way that was kind of cool in the lobby. So we figured we'd put up all these catalogs, have that over there. Over here, we have a nice meeting area for students and teachers and staff, kind of a little boardroom space with a table and some chairs, a nice TV. We've also got some offices, and that's what this hallway back here is. We're not going to go down there because it's just offices, but all of our administrative staff, some of our instructors are in the office 40 hours a week working here. And so that's what's kind of the whole first floor. There's a staff kitchen back there. There's some different things back there that are all for the staff. This is the little meeting area that I talked about a second ago. This is a nice space where students, teachers, staff, whoever can meet, look at work on their images, different things like that. Back through there is our copy room. It's just a copy room, not that exciting. And then up behind us is actually the staircase up to the second floor. So we're gonna head up there in a minute, but there's a couple more things in the first floor I want to talk about. So like I said, down this hallway are all of our staff offices. The server room's down there. A lot of you saw that during our build guide. Those of you who don't know, all of our images and videos that we edit for YouTube and we have a huge student image library that we use for marketing materials, different things like that. All of that's stored on our server. It's all 10 gig networked. Networking is one of those things that I'm a little bit of a nerd on. So Jeff McLean and I will edit video at the same time via 10 gig networking off of our NAS. It's just a pretty cool thing. So we've got our server room down there. I'll do a more elaborate video on that at some point in time. Also staff kitchen, and then this is a room that you've already seen. This is the video studio. We're gonna do a separate tour on that because that's still got some things that I'm trying to iron out, make work a little bit better. But that's where you have all seen so far. That's our little video set. So more on that a little bit later, but that's really the whole first floor. If you follow this hallway back, we get into the warehouse, but we're actually not gonna go through that way. We're gonna go through the upper way. So what we're gonna do right now, we're gonna zip around up the stairs and talk about the upper classrooms and space. This pose feels strangely corporate, like I'm about to tell you about how you can make millions of dollars in the stock market if you sign up with our new program. It's not, I'm just leaning on our railing, but anyway, the lobby's down there. We just came up the stairs. As you can see, huge windows in our warehouse. Those of you who maybe Google mapped the school's location, our warehouse looks very unassuming from the outside. Super pretty on the inside, huge natural light windows. We've actually used this lobby space for shoots because it's beautiful and we might as well. But anyway, we're on the upstairs landing. So basically upstairs, we've got a few main things. There's 2 classrooms, a conference room, a common area, and my office. Those are the main things upstairs. So let's go ahead and pop down here and take a look. We're gonna start with our main classroom. I thought I'd take a minute and just point this out. This is a super cool map of it's a map of the country pretty clearly, but what we do is we mark the locations of where all of our students that are currently learning with us are from, and we do this for our summer intensive and our professional intensive program. So here you can see all 24 of our PI students, where they're from, and it really shows you how nationwide that program is. And with SI, when we get even more students, we sometimes get one from every state or pretty close to it. So kind of a cool way we change this up. It's just magnetic, obviously, so we can take the people off and swap it up every time we get a new year of students, but kind of a cool thing right there. Through this door right here is my office. We're gonna do a separate tour on that a little bit later. You all have seen a little bit of my office because a couple of the YouTube videos from a few months ago were in there before we got the video studio set up. So from here, we're gonna pop right through a door right there into our main classroom. So the room you see behind me is called the Great Hall. This is our main big classroom. It's also our print lab where we have all of our printers set up where the students learn how to do inkjet printing. And that's true in PI and in summer intensive. Sorry, when I say PI, I mean professional intensive, and SI is summer intensive. So this is the main classroom. This is our big classroom. The other classroom is called the library, and that one seats 18 students. Let's go take a look right now. All right, this is the library. So this is the smaller of our two classrooms. This is mostly where we do editing classes, like learning about Lightroom or Photoshop or Capture One or programs like that. Things where you don't have to spread out and have a lot of gear. You're mostly just have your laptop and your gear like that. So we like to have this be our little smaller editing type space. Those are the two classrooms upstairs. Now the warehouse is also a classroom. We utilize that because really we need 3 classrooms to run most of our programs because students are broken up into 3 groups. But the other thing up here is the student room. We call it the common room. I want to pop over there and show that to you guys next. So this is what we refer to as the common room. And the common room really has 3 main purposes. The first purpose is to be a kitchen for the students. So most students eat lunch up here, make their food. We don't obviously have like a stove, but we've got a toaster oven, microwave, all the normal stuff. Also, right over here are some lockers, which the students can lock their gear up with during the day. And then thirdly, it's like a common general hangout space. So we've got tables set up, again, for social distancing this time of the world. But tables set up as well as natural light. There's big windows in the common room that overlook to the big windows out on the front area. So this is mostly like a homework study area between classes. A lot of students are up here studying, working on projects, etc., between their different classes that they have in the different classrooms. You can eat in here. We've got nice hardwood floors, fake hardwood, but nice hardwood floors, and got all that done. I will say this, those of you who watched the build on YouTube, and I definitely recommend checking that out if you have any interest in construction, because it was a lot of fun kind of making this place be. This building did not look like this when we first moved in, or when we first started moving in. All the walls were beige, there was old nasty carpet on the floor everywhere. We've put a ton of time into making this a space that we're gonna have long term, and we even have tons of long-term expansion plans on how to make it even better. So truly, this has become kind of our home. We really are proud of it. And we'll hope you come see us. Hope you come hang out. This is one thing that's kind of cool is like most studio tours that YouTubers do, you can't go see the space. We want you to come see, come learn with us, come hang out. This is a shared communal space for people and our students to learn and enjoy photography. So that's the upstairs. The only other things up here are like there's a furnace room, there's bathrooms for the students, no need to show those. There's a conference room where we will have staff meetings. The big thing that I've saved for the end is the warehouse. So let's go pop down to the warehouse. We can get into the warehouse through the upstairs or through the downstairs. There's multiple ways. Doesn't matter how we get there. Let's go check it out. All right, now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Forrest, does this really have 4 garage doors and 32-foot high ceilings and 5,000 square feet of space? Yeah, you're right, it does. Really, truly an amazing find. You all, here's the deal, when you start looking at real estate in this world, you kind of find there's a couple main things that you'll find in the real estate world when you're looking at big real estate. Hold that thought for 1 second. Sorry about that, had to get a stool. So anyway, back to what I was saying. In the world of real estate, commercial real estate, you really find there's 2 things. There's spaces that are either built out, really nice drywalled spaces, like classrooms, offices, things like that, and there's like grungy warehouses. Finding something that's half and half both is really hard, and we happen to find it, which is really cool. This building is about 50-50 warehouse to other built out space. So it's about a 10,000 square foot space, 5,000 square feet warehouse, 5,000 square foot other. The warehouse does have 32-foot high ceilings. That's obviously way more than we need for most things, but having garage doors to bring in, not having to worry about light stands hitting areas, we can use smoke and fog and, you know, different things like that, a haze machine if we want to. Also, you can see them on either side of me, we have 2 gear cages. So on the gear cage over there is all of our student accessible gear. So that's like our lighting gear, the things that students need on a day-to-day basis. And then the gear cage over here, that's all of our camera gear, video gear, things that students check out from us on a weekly basis. So kind of cool, we can control all of that. Now, this is just half the warehouse, the gear cage area. What I want to do, we're going to pop into the gear cage, take a little bit more of a look at that one, and then we're going to look at the rest of the warehouse space. So this is the gear cage, also known as Forrest's Nerd Cave. But the cool thing that's unique about RMSP is that all of this gear is checkoutable by our students. There's literally nothing in this cage that I won't give a student for a week or 2 or a month or however long they need it for. We have great sponsors like Canon, Sony, B&H, Adobe, tons of huge companies that give us gear to then lend out to our students. And that's such a powerful learning tool. A lot of our students come to class with an entry-level camera, and that doesn't mean you can't create great art with an entry-level camera, but we can check out much nicer lenses, much nicer cameras to students a week at a time. And that's actually what this little sheets of paper right here are. This is next week's checkout sheet. So I've got, you know, pages and pages and pages of gear that are all checkoutable and reservable by our students. And that's what the point of this cage is just to house that equipment. Also, what's really nice is toward the end of our professional intensive program, students can check out lighting gear from us. And what's really cool is they can just pull their car right up to the garage door. We pop that garage door open and we can load gear directly from the cage right into the back of their car, and they drive off and use it on a shoot. So this isn't just for show. This isn't just for us. This isn't just for me. This is for our students. That's literally the point of this entire cage, is to house the gear for our students to use. And that's true in summer intensive and in professional intensive. Like I said, the smaller cage is actually accessible by the students during part of the year. It's accessible by the assistants. It's accessible by everyone. And that's got our lighting gear in it for students to use in the studio. I should also just say that I've always wanted a cage, so it's kind of cool. Having a cage is just fun. Like, you can put stuff in it and then you close the door and it's safe. It's like having a safe, but bigger. I really am a fan. I've always wanted one. It's good to have one. I really appreciate it. But anyway, my cage is your cage if you come learn with us. And that's the cool thing. My cage is your cage. Pretty sweet. Let's check out the rest of the warehouse. All right, this is the other chunk of the warehouse. So we've kind of got the half with the cage and the props and different things like that. And then this half is classroom and studio when we break down the classroom. So for those of you who don't know, this is our studio space as well as our classroom space. And those of you who don't know, like, when we say studio space, we have open studios on the weekend, we have open studios during the week. This is a student-centric space. So it's not like you will go in at this time and shoot this thing. Like, that's lecture time, that's class time. On top of that, there's open studio where students shoot and use the studio for things that they want to use the studio for. And that's part of having all this gear. We have so many light modifiers of all sizes, 2x3s, 3x4s, 5-foot octas, just kind of a little bit of everything. We've also got tons of shelving behind the camera that you all can't see that house all of our like continuous lights, all of our power distribution units. We actually got this whole place wired up with tons of electrical because studio pulls a lot of electricity. We never wanted to have to worry about it. So we distribute everything with 240 volt breakout boxes. It's just like everything we've done here is to make the best possible learning environment. And that's actually something I want to kind of conclude this video with. So one thing that's kind of unique about RMSP, and this is something that I don't think you find a lot of other places, this whole place is dedicated to photography and videography. We don't teach math. We don't teach science. I teach a little bit of science, but not much. You guys know I'm a little bit of a nerd, so like I do a little bit of that. But we don't teach that other stuff. We teach business, marketing, photography, lighting, Photoshop, editing, all of that kind of stuff. And this entire space is dedicated to helping photographers achieve their goals in photography. And you all, we have students of all ages, we have students of all demographics, we have students from all locations, students with all kinds of varied backgrounds, all kinds of varied goals. And the one thing that is true about all of them is that they have a passion for photography. And that's what we are really passionate about, is helping photographers achieve their goals whatever those goals happen to be. Just using the professional intensive program as an example, because that's what's going on right now, we have over 25 instructors who teach in that program and pass their wisdom on to the students. And that's so unique in this industry. When you're looking at 2-year colleges or 4-year colleges, you're going to be learning from 2 or 3 professors through that time in your specific area of study. Here you're getting 25 instructors that all have to do with that. And I'm not going to go too much into salesiness. I'm not trying to do that. I'm mostly just trying to show you, like, that's why we built this space. It's not for anything else other than our students. And I hope that shows. And I think, like, we're just so happy. Like, I hope that I hope the joy that I feel right now is coming across in this video, because we just feel like we finally have a space that we can own. We finally have a space that we belong in. And we finally have a space that we can provide every tool we need to help our students succeed and help them learn what they need to. So anyway, I know this is a little bit of an out of the ordinary video, but it was a long time coming. I wanted to show you all our space, show you where we're at now, show you why we put all those breaks time in the summer when we weren't doing YouTube videos or anything else into making this what it is today. So anyway, I hope you'll consider checking out our website if you've never looked at our classes. We have online classes that are super cheap, and they go in the evenings, and they're great all the way through our big PI program. But definitely check out our website if you haven't already. Also, check out our community forum. We have a free forum that you can join, and you can ask questions of fellow or past RMSP students, current RMSP students, RMSP staff, kind of everyone. I'll put a link to that in the description as well. And then lastly, hit subscribe if you want to. We do post really, I think it's pretty good photo and video and learning content. So definitely hit subscribe down there or up there to stay up to date with future videos. And I will catch you in a future video. I hope you guys enjoy our space. I hope you are inspired to create some beautiful art. We'll catch you in the next one. Thanks, y'all.